The Justice League, also called the Justice League of America or JLA, is a fictional superhero team that appears in comic books published by DC Comics. First appearing in The Brave and the Bold number 28, the Justice League originally featured Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and the Martian Manhunter. The team roster has been rotated throughout the years with characters such as Green Arrow, Captain Atom, Captain Marvel, Black Canary, the Atom, Hawkman, Elongated Man, Red Tornado, Firestorm, Zatanna, Hawkgirl, Cyborg, Vixen, and dozens of others. Sidekicks like Supergirl, Robin, Aquagirl, and Speedy tend to support the main hero or heroine. The team received its own comic book title in October 1960, when the first issue was published. It will continue to number 261 in April 1987, which was the final issue. Throughout the years, various incarnations or subsections of the team have operated as Justice League America, Justice League Dark, Justice League Europe, Justice League International, Justice League Task Force, Justice League Elite, and Extreme Justice. Background: various comic book series featuring the Justice League have remained generally popular with fans since inception and, in most incarnations, its roster includes DC's most popular characters. The Justice League concept has also been adapted into various other entertainment media, including the classic Saturday morning Super Friends animated series, an unproduced Justice League of America live-action series, the animated series Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. A live-action film was in the works in 2008 before being shelved. On June 6, 2012, Warner Bros. Announced a new live-action Justice League film was in development with Will Beall hired as screenwriter. Publication history: Silver and Bronze Age/Justice League of America. Having successfully reintroduced a number of DC Comics Golden Age superhero characters during the late 1950s, editor Julius Schwartz asked writer Gardner Fox to reintroduce the Justice Society of America. Schwartz, influenced by the popularity of Major League Baseball's National League and American League, decided to change the name of the team from Justice Society to Justice League. The Justice League of America debuted in The Brave and the Bold number 28, and after two further appearances in that title, got their own series which quickly became one of the company's best-selling titles. Fox and artist Mike Sekowsky were the creative team for the title's first 8 years. Sekowsky's last issue was number 63 and Fox departed with number 65. Schwartz was the new title's editor and oversaw it until 1979. The initial Justice League lineup included 7 of DC Comics superheroes who were regularly published at that time: Superman, Batman, Aquaman, Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and Wonder Woman. Rarely featured in most of the stories, Superman and Batman did not even appear on the cover most of the time. 3 of DC's other surviving or revived characters, Green Arrow, the Atom, and Hawkman, were added to the roster over the next 4 years. The title's early success was indirectly responsible for the creation of the Fantastic Four. In his autobiography, Stan Lee relates how in 1961, during a round of golf, DC publisher Jack Leibowitz mentioned to Marvel timely owner Martin Goodman how well DC's new book was selling. Later that day, Goodman, a publishing trend follower aware of the JLA's strong sales, told Lee, his comics editor, to come up with a team of superheroes for Marvel. According to Lee in Origins of Marvel Comics, Martin mentioned that he had noticed one of the titles published by National Comics seemed to be selling better than most. It was a book called The Justice League of America and it was composed of a team of superheroes. If the Justice League is selling, spoke he, why didn't we put out a comic book that features a team of superheroes? Goodman directed his comics editor, Stan Lee, to create a comic book series about a team of superheroes. Lee and Jack Kirby produced the Fantastic Four. Other versions of the story suggest that it was Erwin Donenfeld, rather than Leibowitz, who bragged. However, film producer and comics historian Michael Allen partly debunked the story in a letter published in Alter Ego number 43, ppA 43 Euro 44. Erwin said he never played golf with Goodman, so the story is untrue. I heard this story more than a couple of times while sitting in the lunchroom at DC's 909 3rd Avenue and 75 Rockefeller Plaza offices. Sol Harrison and production chief Jack Adler were schmoozing with some of us who worked for DC during our college summers. Way I heard the story from Sol was that Goodman was playing with one of the heads of independent news, not DC Comics. As the distributor of DC Comics, this man certainly knew all the sales figures and was in the best position to tell this tidbit to Goodman. Of course, Goodman would want to be playing golf with this fellow and be in his good graces. Sol worked closely with independent news top management over the decades and would have gotten this story straight from the horse's mouth. The Justice League operated from a secret cave outside of the small town of Happy Harbor, Rhode Island. A teenager named Lucas Snapper Carr tagged along on missions, becoming both the team's mascot and an official member. Snapper, noted for speaking in beatnik dialect and snapping his fingers, helped the group defeat the giant space starfish Starro the Conqueror in the team's first appearance. The supervillain Dr. Light first battled the team in issue number 12. Justice League of America number 21 and number 22 saw the first team-up of the Justice League and the Justice Society of America, as well as the first use of the term crisis in reference to a crossover between characters. The following year's team-up with the Justice Society introduced the threat of the Crime Syndicate of America of Earth 3. The character Metamorpho was offered membership in the Justice League but declined. Following the departures of Gardner Fox and Mike Zagorski, writer Denny Unal and artist Dick Dillon became the new creative team. Dillon would draw the title from issue number 64 through number 183. Unal reshaped the Justice League's membership by removing Wonder Woman in issue number 69 and the Martian Manhunter in issue number 71. Following the JLA-JSA team-up in issues number 73-74 and the death of her husband, the Black Canary decided to move to Earth-1 to make a fresh start, where she joins the Justice League. The following issue saw the character develop the superpower known as her Canary Cry. In issue number 77, Snapper Carr is tricked into betraying the cave headquarters' secret location to the Joker, resulting in his resignation from the team. Satellite years. In need of a new secure headquarters, the Justice League moved into an orbiting satellite headquarters in Justice League of America number 78. The Elongated Man, the Red Tornado, Hawkwoman, Zatanna, and Firestorm joined the team, and Wonder Woman returned during this period. Len Wein wrote issues number 100-114, in which he and Dillon reintroduced the Seven Soldiers of Victory in issues number 100-102 and the Freedom Fighters in issues number 107-108. In the fall of 1972, Wayne and writers Jerry Conway and Steve Englehart crafted a meta-fiction and unofficial crossover spanning titles from both Marvel and DC. Each comic featured Englehart, Conway, and Wayne, as well as Wayne's first wife Glenys, interacting with Marvel or DC characters at the Rutland Halloween Parade in Rutland, Vermont. Beginning in Amazing Adventures number 16, the story continued in Justice League of America number 103, and concluded in Thor number 207. As Englehart explained in 2010, it certainly seemed like a radical concept and we knew that we had to be subtle and each story had to stand on its own, but we really worked it out. It's really worthwhile to read those stories back to back to back. It didn't matter to us that one was at DC and two were at Marvel. I think it was us being creative, thinking what would be really cool to do. Justice League of America number 103 also featured the Justice League offering membership to the Phantom Stranger. Len Wein commented on the Phantom Stranger's relationship with the JLA in a 2012 interview, stating that the character only sort of joined. He was offered membership but vanished, as per usual, without actually accepting the offer. Over the years, other writers have just assumed he was a member, but in my world, he never really said yes. Libra, a supervillain created by Wayne and Dillon in Justice League of America number 111, would play a leading role in Grant Morrison's Final Crisis storyline in 2008. Writers Cary Bates and Elliot S. Magan wrote themselves into the 1975 JLA-JSA crossover in issues number 123 and 124, with Bates becoming a supervillain. Wonder Woman rejoined the team following a major two-year story arc, largely written by Martin Pascoe. To prove her worthiness to rejoin the JLA, Wonder Woman voluntarily underwent 12 trials analogous to the labors of Hercules, each of which was monitored in secret by a member of the JLA. After the conclusion of the storyline in Wonder Woman number 222, the character's return to the JLA occurred in a two-part story in Justice League of America number 128-129. Steve Englehart wrote the series beginning with issue number 139 and provided another unofficial crossover with Marvel Comics in issue number 142 by reworking his character Mantis into the DC Universe as a character named Willow. Englehart left the title with issue number 150. From issue number 139 to number 157 the issues were giant-sized. Writer Jerry Conway had a lengthy association with the title as well. His first JLA story appeared in issue number 125 and he became the series' regular writer with issue number 151. With a few exceptions, Conway would write the team's adventures until issue number 255. Julius Schwartz, who had edited the title since the first issue, left the series with issue number 165. The 1979 crossover with the Justice Society in issues number 171 and 172 saw the death of the original Mr. Terrific. After Dick Dillon's death, George Parr copyright Res, Don Heck, and Rich Buckler would rotate as artist on the title. The double-sized anniversary issue number 200 was a jam featuring a story written by Conway, a framing sequence drawn by Parr copyright Res, and chapters drawn by Pat Broderick, Jim Aparo, Dick Giordano, Gilbert Kane, Carmine Infantino, Brian Bolland, and Joe Kibbert. Bolland's chapter gave the artist his first stab at drawing Batman. Parr copyright Res would leave the title with issue number 200 to concentrate on the new Teen Titans, although he would contribute covers to the JLA through issue number 220. The 1982 team-up with the Justice Society in issues number 207-209 crossed over with All-Star Squadron number 14-15. A Justice League story by Jerry Conway and Rich Buckler originally intended for publication as an issue of All New Collector's Edition saw print in Justice League of America number 210-212. Detroit, seeking to capitalize on the popularity of their other team books, which focused upon heroes in their late teens early 20s, Jerry Conway and artist Chuck Patton revamped the Justice League series. After most of the original heroes fail to help fend off an invasion of Martians, Aquaman dissolves the League and rewrites its charter to allow only heroes who will devote their full time to the roster. The new team initially consists of Aquaman, Zatanna, Martian Manhunter, Elongated Man, the Vixen, and a trio of teenage heroes Gypsy, Steel, and Vibe. Aquaman leaves the team after a year, due to marital problems, and his role as leader is assumed by the Martian Manhunter. The final storyline for the original Justice League of America series, by writer J.M. DeMatteis and artist Luke McDonnell, concludes with the murders of Vibe and Steel by longtime League nemesis Professor Evo, and the resignations of Vixen, Gypsy, and the Elongated Man during the events of DC's Legends miniseries, which sees the team disband. Modern incarnations, Justice League International. The 1986 company-wide crossover Legends concluded with the formation of a new Justice League. The new team was dubbed Justice League, then Justice League International, and was given a mandate with less of an American focus. The new series, written by Keith Giffen and J.M. DeMatteis with art by Kevin Maguire, added quirky humor to the team's stories. In this incarnation, the membership consisted partly of heroes from Earths that, prior to their merging in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, were separate. The initial team included Batman, Black Canary, Blue Beetle, Captain Marvel, Dr. Light, Dr. Fate, Martian Manhunter, Mr. Miracle, and Guy Gardner. And soon after inception, adds Booster Gold, Captain Atom, Fire, Ice, and 2 Rocket Reds. The Giffen DeMatteis team worked on Justice League for 5 years and closed out their run with the Breakdowns storyline in 1991 and 1992. The series' humorous tone and high level of characterization proved very popular. After Giffen and DeMatteis' departure, DC created numerous spin-off titles. In 1996, the series was cancelled, along with spin-offs Justice League Europe, Extreme Justice, and Justice League Task Force. JLA. The low sales of the various Justice League spin-off books prompted DC to revamp the League as a single team on a single title. A Justice League of America formed in the September 1996 limited series Justice League, A Midsummer's Nightmare by Mark Waid and Fabian Nicieza, which reunited the original 7 of the League for the first time since Crisis on Infinite Earths. In 1997, DC Comics launched a new Justice League series titled JLA, written by Grant Morrison with art by Howard Porter and inker John Dell. Morrison introduced the idea of the JLA allegorically representing a pantheon of gods, with their different powers and personalities, incorporating such characters as Zariel, Big Barda, Orion, Huntress, Oracle, Steel, and Plastic Man. He also had Aztec, Tomorrow Woman, and Green Arrow as temporaries. During the 2005-2006 event Infinite Crisis, the series ended as Green Arrow struggled in vain to keep the League afloat. 52. In 52 Week 24, Firestorm recruits a group to reform the Justice League. It consists of Firehawk, Super Chief, Bulleteer, and Ambush Bug. They fight a deranged Skeets who takes Super Chief's powers, killing him and numerous people who had received powers through Lex Luthor's Everyman project. Afterward, Firestorm breaks up the team. Also in the series, Luthor's New Infinity, Incorporated was informally referred to as a Justice League in solicitations and on covers. Justice League of America, 1 year after the events of Infinite Crisis, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman reunite in the Batcave to reform the League in Justice League of America No. 0, the kickoff for a new series by Brad Meltzer and Ed Benes. The series featured a roster which included Green Lantern, Black Canary, Red Arrow, Red Tornado, Vixen, Black Lightning, and Hawkgirl. The first arc of the series focused upon Red Tornado and pitted the team against a new intelligent incarnation of Solomon Grundy and the rebuilt Amazo. The new incarnation of the team has 2 main headquarters, linked by a transporter. At the first site is the Hall, which in the mainstream DC universe is a refurnished version of the Justice Society of America and the All-Star Squadron's former headquarters located in Washington, D.C. Black Canary is elected as the first official chairperson after the fight against Amazo and Solomon Grundy, and led both the Justice League and Justice Society in a complex quest to reunite time-lost members of the pre-crisis Legion of Superheroes, who had been sent back in time to free both Bart Allen and Flash from the other dimensional realm of the Speed Force. Meltzer left the series at the end of issue number 12, with one of his subplots resolved in the pages of Booster Gold. Dwayne McDuffie took over the writing job with the Justice League Anniversary Special and the main book with issue number 13. Due to DC Comics seeking to launch a spin-off Justice League book led by Hal Jordan, the character was removed from the main League series and replaced by John Stewart. Firestorm also joined the roster, with the series entering into a series of tie-in storylines towards Countdown to Final Crisis, with the arrest of a large number of supervillains setting up the Salvation Run tie-in miniseries. Also, roster members Red Tornado and Geo-Force were written out. McDuffie's removed Hal Jordan in favor of Stewart. Jordan was restored to the roster by issue number 19 of the series, only to be removed once again by issue number 31. Issue number 21 saw the return of Libra and the Human Flame, setting up their appearances in Final Crisis. Later issues would resolve issues involving Vixen's power level increase and see the integration of the Milestone Comics characters the Shadow Cabinet and Icon, who fought the Justice League over the remains of the villainous Dr. Light. The group suffered greater losses during Final Crisis with the deaths of Martian Manhunter and Batman, as well as the resignations of Superman and Wonder Woman, who could no longer devote themselves full-time to the League due to the events of the New Krypton and Rise of the Olympian storylines in their respective titles. Hal Jordan would resign as well, clearing the way for Jon Stewart's return to the team. Black Canary found herself declaring the League no more, though the group would continue with Canary taking a secondary role. Her last act as leader was to assign Jon Stewart and Firestorm the task of hunting down the Human Flame, for his part in the murder of Martian Manhunter, as seen in the Final Crisis Aftermath run. Miniseries. Vixen would take over the team, with Plastic Man rejoining the group. Len Wein wrote a three-part fill-in story for Justice League of America that ran from number 35 to number 37. McDuffie was fired from the title before he could return, after discussion postings to the DC Comics message board, detailing behind-the-scenes creative decisions on his run, which were republished in the rumor column Lying in the Gutter. James Robinson was announced as the new Justice League of America writer. Wayne's fill-in run would be published as Justice League. Cry for Justice neared its conclusion, as Vixen and Black Canary's group would confront Hal Jordan and Green Arrow's makeshift Justice League group, which had stumbled upon a plot by the villain Prometheus that had resulted in much death and carnage. During the confrontation over Jordan's group using torture to extract information from the villains being blackmailed into carrying out Prometheus' plan, both Roy Harper and Supergirl would discover that one of Jordan's heroes, Captain Marvel Jr., was really Prometheus in disguise. In the ensuing battle, the League would suffer horrible losses. Roy Harper was maimed and his daughter Leon and hundreds of thousands of people in Star City would be killed by a doomsday device Prometheus had activated. Vixen would have her leg broken and Plastic Man would have his powers permanently scrambled, making him a slowly disintegrating puddle creature. To save other cities from being destroyed like Star City, the League reluctantly allowed Prometheus to go free. Green Arrow would later track down and kill Prometheus. Following the events of Blackest Night, Hal Jordan and Donna Troy begin the task of rebuilding the League, with Green Arrow, the Atom, Batman, Mon-El, Donna, Cyborg, Dr. Light, Starfire, Congorilla, and the Guardian. At the end of issue number 43, the majority of the new members leave. Mon-El and the Guardian leave after Mon-El returns to the future, Black Canary returns to the Birds of Prey, Starfire leaves to join the Rebels. Green Lantern leaves to locate the other Lantern Corps entities, and Green Arrow is forced to leave due to his fugitive status. James Robinson said this was due to having second thoughts about his decision to use so many characters, and that the team would have a different roster in the coming months. To replace the departed members, Jade and Jesse Quick were added to the team. Cyborg remained with the team in a reduced capacity, and was eventually given his own co-feature storyline for issues number 48 to 50. DC announced that Saint Walker of the Blue Lantern Corps would be joining the Justice League during a tie-in to the Reign of Doomsday crossover, but the character did not become a full member due to the cancellation of the title. The series ended with issue number 60, the title being one of the numerous DC books cancelled after the Flashpoint crossover. The issue saw Batman disbanding the League due to most of the individual members becoming preoccupied with personal commitments. The New 52, in September 2011, following the conclusion of the Flashpoint miniseries, all DC titles were cancelled and relaunched, starting as issue number 1 and DC's continuity was rebooted. Justice League of America was relaunched as Justice League, written by Jeff Johns and drawn by Jim Lee, and was the first of the new titles released, coming out the same day as the final issue of Flashpoint. The first 6-issue storyline is set 5 years in the past and features a new origin for the team. The series then shifted to the present in issue number 7. After the first 12 issues, Jim Lee was succeeded as artist by Ivan Reis. The initial roster of the team consists of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, The Flash, and Cyborg, while the Atom, Firestorm, and Element Woman join as additional members. In addition to the series, 2 other Justice League-related titles were launched during the same month, A New Justice League International. Written by Dan Jurgens and drawn by Aaron Lopresti. Featuring an initial roster of Batman, Booster Gold, Rocket Red, Vixen, Green Lantern, Fire, Ice, August General in Iron, and Godiva, and Justice League Dark. Written by Peter Milligan and drawn by Mike Janin. Featuring an initial roster consisting of John Constantine, Shade, The Changing Man, Madame Xonad, Deadman, Zatanna, and new character called Mindwarp. In May 2012, DC announced the cancellation of Justice League International with issue 12 and an annual. The cancellation of Justice League International led into the launch of a new Justice League of America title. The new Justice League of America is entirely separate from the main Justice League as the new team was formed by Amanda Waller and consists of Steve Trevor, Martian Manhunter, Green Arrow, Hawkman, Catwoman, the new Green Lantern Simon Baz, Stargirl, Zatanna and Vibe. The latter two, Zatanna and Vibe, have since received their own ongoing titles. The new Atom, Rhonda Pineda, is also a member of the Justice League of America. She works as a spy to gain intel on the Justice League, reporting to Amanda Waller and Steve Trevor. Her placement is unknown to the members of either team. Each member of the Justice League of America is intended to be a counterpart to the members of the Justice League, in case the Justice League would ever go rogue. Catwoman and Green Arrow double up as counterparts for Batman. The Justice League of America and Justice League Dark clash in the Trinity War storyline. Atom is later revealed to be from a parallel universe. She is in fact a mole on both teams, and a member of the evil crime syndicate of Earth-3. The syndicate roundly defeats the assembled leagues, triggering the Forever Evil crossover event. In the aftermath of Forever Evil, following their crucial and public role in defeating the crime syndicate, Lex Luthor and Captain Cold join the Justice League. In August 2013, it was announced that Justice League of America would be retitled Justice League Canada following Forever Evil, with the team relocating to Canada. Adam Strange and a brand new character of Canadian origin will join the team. In December 2013, Jeff Lemire, the writer of the new Justice League Canada series, announced that Animal Man would be a part of the team. However, in January 2014, it was announced that the series would no longer be retitled, instead relaunching as Justice League United. The series, written by Lemire and drawn by Mike McCon, will feature a team consisting of Animal Man, Martian Manhunter, Green Arrow, Hawkman, Stargirl, Supergirl, Adam Strange, Alanis Strange and an all-new, super-powered Kree teenager. The Kree teenager was later revealed to be Equinox, a 16-year-old Kree teen from Moose Factory with a civilian name Mia Yachban. Her powers stem from the Earth and change with the seasons. Various origins of the Justice League, in a story told in flashback in Justice League of America No. 9, the Appalachians infiltrated Earth. Competing alien warriors were sent to see who could conquer Earth first, to determine who will become the new ruler of their home planet. The aliens' attacks drew the attentions of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman and Martian Manhunter. While the superheroes individually defeated most of the invaders, the heroes fell prey to a single competitor's attack. Only by working together were they able to defeat the competitor. For many years, the heroes heralded this adventure as the event that prompted them to agree to pool resources when confronted with similar menaces. In Justice League of America No. 144, Green Arrow uncovered inconsistencies in the team's records and extracted admissions from his colleagues that the 7 founders had actually formed the League after Martian Manhunter was rescued from Martian forces by the other 6 founders, along with several other heroes including Robin, Robotman, Congo Bill Congorilla, Rex the Wonder Dog and even Lois Lane. Green Lantern participated in this first adventure solely as Hal Jordan, as he had yet to become the costumed hero, the biggest inconsistency Arrow found, as they celebrated the earlier incident's date, while recounting only the later one's events. When the group formalized their agreement, they suppressed news of it because of anti-Martian hysteria. Because the heroes had not revealed their identities to each other at the time, they did not realize that Jordan and Green Lantern were one and the same when he turned up in costume during the event described in No. 9. While most subsequent accounts of the League have made little mention of this first adventure, the animated Justice League series adapted this tale as the origin of the Justice League as well. Secret Origins No. 32 updated Justice League of America No. 9's origin for post-crisis continuity. Differences included the inclusion of the Silver Age Black Canary as a founding member in the absence of Batman, Wonder Woman and Superman. The JLA, Year One limited series, by Mark Waid, Brian Augustyn and Barry Kitson, further expanded the Secret Origins depiction. In Justice League Task Force No. 16, during Zero Hour, a then-unknown superhuman named Triumph appeared. Triumph was revealed to have been a founding member of the Justice League and was their leader. On his first mission with the Justice League, Triumph seemingly saved the world, but was teleported into a dimensional limbo that also affected the time stream, erasing all memory of him. In Infinite Crisis No. 7, the formation of New Earth restored Wonder Woman as a founding member of the Justice League. In Brad Meltzer's Justice League of America No. 0, it was revealed that Superman and Batman were again founding members as well. 52 No. 51 confirmed that the 1989 Secret Origins and JLA, Year One Origins were still in continuity at that time, with Superman, Batman and Wonder Woman joining the team with founding member status shortly after the group's formation with Aquaman, Black Canary, Flash, Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter. In Justice League of America No. 12, the founding members of the Justice League were shown to be Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman and the Martian Manhunter. With DC's history rewritten due to the Flashpoint limited series, an entirely new origin for the Justice League appeared in the subsequent Justice League series which debuted with an October 2011 cover date as part of the company-wide event, The New 52. Issue No. 1 portrayed the first meeting between Batman and Hal Jordan, with the two encountering each other during a battle against a parademon in Gotham City. After realizing the creature is extraterrestrial in origin, the two heroes head to Metropolis to seek out Superman only to be attacked by him. Later, after a brief fight in which the Flash arrives and Batman convinces Superman they are on the same side, they move to an abandoned building to work on analyzing a mysterious alien box, when it suddenly activates and more parademons arrive. While fighting the parademons, Aquaman and Wonder Woman appear and join forces with the other heroes. The mysterious box leads to Darkseid's arrival on Earth, and the heroes come together, along with the newcomer Cyborg, to defeat him. The public becomes enamored with the heroes, and a writer dubs the group the Justice League, following the Flash's suggestion of Super 7. Enemies. Related series, formerly known as the Justice League. In 2003, Giffen, DeMatteis, and Maguire returned with a separate limited series called formerly known as the Justice League with the same humor as their Justice League run, and featuring some of the same characters in a team called the Super Buddies. A follow-up limited series, entitled I Can't Believe It's Not the Justice League, soon was prepared, although it was delayed due to the events shown in the Identity Crisis limited series, but was eventually released as the second arc in JLA, Classified. The Super Buddies consisted of Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Captain Atom, Fire, Mary Marvel, the Elongated Man with his wife, Sue Dibney, Maxwell Lord, and Elron. The second story arc of JLA, Classified focuses on the Super Buddies in a humorous story that features Power Girl, Guy Gardner, with and associated by Dr. Fate. JLA Avengers. In 2003 to 2004, George Parr copyright Rez and Kurt Busiek produced a JLA Avengers crossover, an idea that had been delayed for 20 years for various reasons. In this limited series, the Justice League and Marvel Comics superhero team the Avengers were forced to find key artifacts in one another's universe, as well as deal with the threats of villains Krona and the Grand Master. JLA, Classified. In 2004, DC began an anthology series titled JLA, Classified, which would feature rotating writers and artists producing self-contained story arcs and aborted mini-series projects that were reappropriated for publication within the pages of the series, starring the JLA. While the bulk of the stories took place within the continuity of the series, some of the stories take place outside of regular DC Universe canon. The series was cancelled as of issue number 54. Justice. In October 2005, DC began publishing the 12-issue miniseries Justice by writer Jim Krueger, writer-illustrator Alex Ross, and artist Doug Braithwaite. The story, which takes place outside regular DC continuity, has Lex Luthor assembling the Legion of Doom after he and several other villains begin to have nightmares about the end of the world and the failure of the Justice League to prevent the apocalypse. As the Legion begins engaging in unprecedented humanitarian deeds throughout the world, they also launch a series of attacks on the Justice League and their families. The threat that the Legion was warned about destroying the Earth turns out to be caused by Brainiac, who seeks to destroy Earth during the chaos. Justice League: Cry for Justice. Originally planned as an ongoing title, Justice League: Cry for Justice is a mini-series written by James Robinson and drawn by Maura Cassioli. The mini-series, set after the events of Final Crisis, has Hal Jordan leaving the League following the deaths of Batman and Martian Manhunter, as their deaths have caused Hal to seek a more proactive manner of dealing with supervillains. Hal, along with Green Arrow, and later joined by Supergirl, Captain Marvel Jr., and Batwoman are then recruited by Ray Palmer to investigate a murder of a former colleague that had been carried out on orders from Prometheus. This ties into another string of murders, bringing Starman Mikhail Tormaz and Aquagirl together as their investigation of the murders of several European superheroes are also revealed to be the work of Prometheus. With help from the Hawkman villain IQ, Prometheus plans on creating the ultimate weapon in mass murder, a massive doomsday device which he plans on using to destroy entire cities, as part of his revenge scheme against the JLA for lobotomizing him. Disguised as Captain Marvel Jr., Prometheus maims Roy Harper and brutally injures JLA members Dr. Light 2, Vixen, and Plastic Man while using the JLA satellite to activate his doomsday device, which destroys Star City, killing 90,000 innocent civilians, including Roy Harper's young daughter Lian. Prometheus ultimately extorts his freedom from the League in exchange for the codes that will shut down his weapon, much to the horror of the JLA members. Green Arrow tracks Prometheus down and kills him by firing an arrow into his head. The mini-series leads directly into the formation of a brand new JLA roster with Green Lantern Hal Jordan, Donna Troy, Dick Grayson as Batman, Dr. Light, Mon-El, Cyborg, Starfire, Aquagirl, Guardian, and Mikhail Tormaz. JLA The 99. Launching in October 2010, JLA The 99 was a crossover mini-series featuring the Justice League teaming up with the heroes of Tashkeel Comics' The 99 series. The JLA consisted of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, The Flash, The Atom, Dr. Light, Hawkman, and Firestorm. Awards. The original Justice League of America series has won 1961 Alley Awards for Best Comic Book, 1961 Alley Awards for Best Adventure Hero Group, 1963 Alley Awards for Favorite Novel, 1963 Alley Awards for Strip That Should Be Improved, 1963 Alley Awards for Artist Preferred on Justice League of America, 1973 Shazam Awards for Best Inker, Collected Editions, Silver Age Justice League of America. This series has been collected in the following, omitted issues that featured reprints of material from earlier volumes. Justice League International Justice League America. This series has been collected in the following collections. JLA. This series has been collected in the following trade paperbacks. This series has been collected in the following Grant Morrison-centric hardcover collections. Justice League of America. This series has been collected in the following hardcover collections. The New 52 Justice League. The series has been collected in the following hardcover collections. The New 52 Justice League of America, miscellaneous reprints. These trades reprint themed issues. Attractions, Justice League, Alien Invasion 3D, in other media. See also: Justice Society of America, spin-off groups, Extreme Justice, Justice Leagues, Justice League Antarctica, Justice League Dark, Justice League Elite, Justice League Europe, Justice League International, Justice League Task Force, Super Buddies, Young Justice. References. External links: Justice League at dccomics.com, Justice League of America at Don Markstein's Toonapedia Web Citation Archive, the Justice League Library, Justice League, Mortal at the Internet Movie Database.